As a copywriter, you choose what to write about. You choose which clients you want to work with, and you choose when and how to make more money. In this webinar, you're going to learn 7 ways to increase your income as a writer whenever you want. Let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside AWAI. My name is Rebecca Matter. I'm the president of AWAI, and I'm joined by 2 of my favorite colleagues. First and foremost, my partner and one of the co-founders of AWAI, Katie Yackel. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, everybody.
And our learning chief, Pam Foster. Hi, Pam.
Hi, welcome, everyone.
And what I'm most excited coming to you with different skill sets and different experiences. As I mentioned, Katie helped found this company over 25 years ago and has worked with writers from all walks of life to achieve the writer's life through a variety of ways, and has seen all of these ways that we're going to talk about of making more money play out through numerous stories. Pam actually was once in your shoes. She was an AWAI member who wanted a better way, who saw this idea of the writer's life, decided to go get it for herself. So she brings a different vantage point, both in doing all of these things herself and in working with our members as the head of our Circle of Success program, seeing a lot of our writers walk the same path that she walked over how many years ago now, Pam?
Oh, do I have to say? I've been a copywriter for 40 years.
But you first met AWAI. When did you meet us?
Oh, 2005. So
2005.
17 years.
So we met Pam Foster at our annual boot camp that we have every year. It's actually coming up this October. And she was just this firecracker on the scene who really wanted this thing to get it done. She became
wanted to get out of corporate America.
Yes.
Corporate cubicles. Yeah.
And that's actually such a good segue into what we're talking about, getting out of corporate, because part of this world and what she wanted was more control over having choices, over how much money you make, over where you work and when you work and for who you work for. And, anywhere in the world, whatever lifestyle you want to live, do you work in the morning? Do you work at night? Having flexibility to take vacation and not ask permission or have to work with other people's schedules, to be able to care for loved ones, or when weird things happen in life that require your attention, to not have to ask permission to handle those things. That's what we think about when we talk about the writer's life. It could be whatever it is that you want it to be, but it all comes back to money. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, because as a writer, and it doesn't seem like it at first, but as a writer, you have more control over your money than in any other career. We talk, you can make more money than doctors and lawyers, and all of that is true, but you actually can control those things. You can decide when you make more. You can decide when you take it down. You're never limited to anything. Every year can be better than the year before if you want it to be. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The control that you have and what we call levers that you can pull when you want to make more money. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to give you 7 different levers that you can pull. Now, when you pull them, we're going to talk about that. And if you pull them, some might not be options for you right now. Some might not be options that you want. Again, it's all about having control. And that's what this is about today. So we're going to take it from the very top with 7 ways to make more money as a writer. Before we dive in, Kate or Pam, do you have any top level things, or should we just go ahead and dive into the first lever?
I say let's dive in. I think all of these are top level, and we're going to be talking macro, and then we're going to be talking micro about them. So all of these things can have a really significant impact on your future. So let's get going.
Excellent. All right, Ben. So lever number 1, and I guess you'll skip over the 7 ways to make money as a writer. Now, the first one is super obvious, right? If I'm a writer and I want to make more money, I could take on more clients. Now, down the line, this one won't become an option. This lever is one of the first ones that you can pull early, and it will likely become one that you will pull less often the more you get into your career. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to look for things like efficiency and maximizing opportunity rather than taking on more. But when we're starting out, if I have 2 clients today and I want to make more money, I can take on another client. More clients mean more output, just means more money, right? Any top level comments on this? And Pam and Katie, I don't know if you want to just raise hands or jump in. My biggest thing with this one though is just having choices as far as who you work for. We were talking with Jade and Ted the other day on a Monday Morning Jumpstart, and they were talking about Ted was stressing out during the pandemic about, oh my gosh, I work for myself. What if I lose one of my 5 clients? And in that moment, maybe I should get a W-2 job, a full-time job. He said, in that moment, I realized if I lose one of my 5 clients, I have 4 clients. If you lose a full-time job, you're done. You've got nothing. So having more clients, in addition to being able to make more money, really safeguards our income and gives us choices, so that if we have a client that either has to move on or we decide we just don't want to work with anymore, we can take that client off and have more clients. Now, Pam, you work a lot with clients or have built your business up this way. Any insights on maybe when to take on more, when to release some, or a situation, let's say, where it was better to release this client to take on these other clients?
Sure. I think when I was starting out as a freelancer, by the way, if you do have a full-time job and your current employer is amenable to this, they could be your first client. That's actually what happened to me. I was working in corporate America. I had no more cubicles. I had kids that needed me more than I needed to be standing in a cubicle. So I was able to come to my boss and say, I just need a more flexible life and I'm going to go freelance. And he said, oh my gosh, you're the one who knows everything about our company. Can you work freelance for us for a while? So I did. And that was my catalyst to be able to go out and be on my own. Now, if you don't have that opportunity, I think having a pipeline or in looking into other clients while you have some in your pocket is a great idea always, because you never know which, like Rebecca said, which clients may suddenly disappear because the company got bought out or some management change or something like that. So I would recommend never counting on just one client, because that can be really risky. So have a few, keep looking, and if others reach out to you and want your help, investigate that. They may be a fit, they may not be, but I know that when I started out, I was working for one client I didn't really click with, and I found him to be very annoying, but I did the work because the pay was good and all that stuff. But I was so happy when I was able to let him go. I had other clients that were much more fun to work with and much more worth my time, fulfilling wise. So I said goodbye to him. I think we're all set. We'd done a lot of work together, but I was like moving on. I said, I'm really going to focus on the pet industry now. And he was in the legal industry. And so it was okay to step off and work with other clients. So
Katie, you had your hand raised?
Yeah. And just one thing, if you're listening to this saying, well, I don't have any clients, and if you're at that point, we've got you covered. We have so many programs to help you with that. But the one thing I do want to point out, Rebecca's saying 5 clients, Pam's saying a few clients, that really is true. You only need a few. I mean, it's nice to have the safety, but it's not like you're a doctor or a personal trainer or where you're filling up like hours. You really only need a few, because those few can keep you as busy as you want to be. So I just want to make sure people aren't panicking about that, and just know, and oftentimes one leads to the next from pretty much organically even. So I just want to make sure nobody's worried about that.
So 2 loops that got open there that I want to make sure that we close before we move on to our number 2 lever. One is a marketing machine. If you're just starting out and you don't have any clients, that is your first step to building a marketing machine. We have numerous ways of doing that. If you go to the Inside AWAI page and you search getting clients, you're going to see session after session that introduce different ways. If you want the fast path, it's we have a 21-day, we call it 21-day challenge with Elise Bennon, and she will literally have you connecting with clients within 21 days, guaranteed. All you have to do is
the easiest possible way.
But what I love about her program is not only is it super easy and done in bite-sized pieces, what you build is a machine, which leads me to my next point. Keep the machine going. Worst case scenario is you're saying no every single day to a new potential client, but that's okay, because you never know when you're going to need another one or want another one, or a client's going to come to you. And it's just so much better than, which leads to our second lever, anything that you ever imagined. So if you're brand new, build that marketing machine and then keep it going. Even if you're maxed out, you couldn't take on a single more client because you never know who's going to come through the door. So the marketing machine is exciting and important. Also, if you're just starting out, we still want you to watch through all the other levers. Having an understanding of what is coming and what opportunities are in front of you is so important, especially when you're starting out, because you know the path is so long. It's not like A to Z and then that's it. It is an ongoing forever journey that you can continue to modify and change as your own aspirations and lifestyle evolves and just whatever's happening in your world as well. But we keep our marketing machine on. So the first one was to take on more clients, but now we have enough clients. We don't have any more space. We don't want to work any more hours. So we upgrade to better clients. Now, when I say better clients, it can be for a variety of things. It can be higher paying. This client pays me this. That client pays me this other thing, and this thing is higher. So I might go after clients who can pay me more. This is going to happen. When you first start out, you're going to have, and Pam, I'm going to come to you in a second because I want to hear a story where you've kind of not aged out, but priced out, let's say, of some clients. But eventually, those clients that you started with just won't be able to afford you anymore. Your skill set's going to become greater. Your value is going to become too great. And you're going to need to make decisions for yourself that allow you to move forward to different opportunities. So it could be higher paying. It could be faster paying. Maybe you have clients that take 3 weeks to pay, and these other clients are just ready to turn around, or they have projects. The other one client gives you a project a month because they kind of stall at how long it takes to get approval. But client B is like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And so for you, that's better because they're faster. Maybe they're just fun to work with. Pam joined AWI because working at AWI is awesome. She came to me and said, I know I'm supposed to be a freelancer. That's what the writer's life is about. But I've been on AWI for so long. I know I can help your members. And I love you guys. I want to be part of the team. So if you ever have a job open, I'd love for you to consider me. I said, the writer's life does not have to be freelance, first of all. It's choices and freedom and whatever you want it to be. And I will create a position for you because I think you're awesome as well. So easy to work with, clear communication, someone that you just trust. And the ability to grow. Like maybe today you're just their blog writer. We're going to talk about this. But tomorrow you're also social media, and then you're building products for them, and who knows where it could go, but that there is that ability to grow. Pam, did that happen to you? Did you age out of clients? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, it's really funny because I've had both experiences where, for example, I've been helping my accountant, a local accountant, do their website and their client newsletter. We're going on 27 years now. So I have never aged out of them. They're not my top paying clients, but I love them and they do my taxes, and we just work together so easily that I'm efficient with them. So actually my hourly rate, if I was going to break it down per project, is really good. Now there are other clients I've had, like blogging in the veterinary industry. We kind of ran out of steam together. We're like, we've talked about everything you could possibly talk about to veterinary salespeople, and maybe it's time to do something different. So my client called it sunsetting the blog. We sunset the blog, which means it just kind of faded away. And that was perfectly fine with me because I was kind of bored with it at that point. And I replaced it with other cool stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, that can happen. And that's a natural progression sometimes. And then sometimes, honestly, you have a butthead you don't want to work with and you're done. You can just
Did you just say a butthead?
I did.
Pamela Foster.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. And Katie, I see you marking some questions, so feel free to jump in. The one I had for you though is, and so if we don't answer your question as we're going, it means we're going to queue it up for the end. If it's relevant in this moment, we want to make sure, but if it's a bigger picture, I want to make sure we'll have plenty of time for Q&A. But Katie, you often talk about treating your writing business like a business, being the CEO of your business. It seems like there's a little relevancy with this of evaluating my clients. And can you give us some insights there?
On a regular basis. And I take this very seriously. And the fact that you guys are here, that means you do too. That means you're not looking for a hobby. You're looking for a viable career path. And that's what we offer you. And by recognizing that and realizing that, it does mean that you have to be your boss. You have to be the CEO of your company. And for some people, it's the first time they've been a boss. So There is an adjustment period. But you just think about, what do you need to make your business successful? What resources do you need? Where do you invest your time? Where do you invest your money? You're not in business till you make a sale. So that first sale is really important. It's important that everybody in your world understand that this is your business, and to treat it with that kind of respect, and give you the time and space you need to be as successful as possible. So I think that's an important mindset. And as any responsible CEO would do, it is evaluating where you are, what you've done, what's been successful, how you can make your business more profitable. And so part of that is looking at your client list and saying, you know what, these people, it's a little bit too much time, a little bit too much effort for the payout. I'm grateful for the experience that I got. I'm grateful for the understanding of this market or this world that I've got, but now let's leverage that up. Let's step up, let's stretch a little. And it sounds maybe a little bit scary, but it's actually easier to do once you're in it and you're thinking in those kinds of terms.
Because you're not doing anyone a favor, and they're not doing you a favor. This is a business transaction. You are a professional service provider providing a service to another professional. And sometimes this is just not a match anymore. I have to think about myself as the writer. I have financial goals, lifestyle goals. And if this is no longer a match, or I have an opportunity that meets my goals better, I have to be willing to do that. And I love the evaluation part. I think definitely annually looking at all of, and as we get into these money levers, you're actually going to be evaluating all of your levers, not just your clients, because there are other non-client related here in just a few minutes. But definitely your clients, even potentially on a quarterly basis. How much time am I spending, and on which clients? Because in my experience, the clients who take up the most of your time oftentimes are the ones who are paying you the least. So being able to identify, where do I make the most with the least amount of time? Those are my A clients, and those are the ones I want to keep. And I want to replace the ones that are sucking up a lot of time for less revenue. Even though we don't talk about hourly here at AWAI, we don't recommend that you charge at an hourly rate. You're still conscious of the hourly rate. This client, because they take 20 more hours to write the same sales letter that this client takes 5 hours to do of feedback, on an hourly, I'm wasting 15 hours, which is reducing my hourly rate if I charge the same amount on both sales letters. So I do think it's important, like Katie said, to think of this as an aspect of your business. And that leads us to number 3. One of the evaluation points, you'll look at time. How much time do I spend on this client? You'll look at money. How much money do I spend on this client? But then you'll also look for opportunity. And that leads us to number 3. Our number 3 lever is increasing the project scope. So now within any client that hires you, this is probably one of my favorites, because once you have a client that you love to work with, and all 3 ladies on the screen are the same in that if you work for us and we like you and you like us, we're going to maximize your bandwidth, but meaning we're going to take up all the time that you can give us. And you can control this. If they have opportunities to expand their copy and content needs, to expand their marketing, get into other channels, do things what we call blind spots, things that they're missing, you can be doing this. You could be recommending those. This is a little bit of a mindset shift that we're going to talk a lot about in the coming months at AWAI. We've kind of solidified the levels of a writer's progression. But at this point, you're gaining a little bit of confidence, and you're no longer an order taker. It's not just, hey, Pam, can you write this blog? She's going to flip the script now and come back to me and say, I can write the blog, but I also think we should do some SEO work so that these blog posts are being found organically. And I would like to take on your social media and drive traffic. We're creating this great asset for you every month. Let's go ahead and make sure we get as many eyeballs on that as possible. Now, her fee doesn't stay the same. It's a new proposal. She takes the blogging that I offer her. She adds on SEO. I'm going to optimize. I'm going to create this optimization plan. The plan's going to cost $3,000, and then I'm going to charge $750 a month to optimize my blog post. Social media, I'm going to tack on. That's a $2,000 a month retainer. And so, yes, I will write your blog, but we're going to get a bunch of stuff from this blog to happen by driving traffic from the search engines and from social. That's a mindset shift. That's a confidence game. Now, we teach you how to do all of this. But I just want you to be aware with any client, you get your foot in the door. And if you understand marketing, which we teach you, if you understand the continuum, all the copy and content projects that attach, at any given time, you can look up, you can look down the chain and make recommendations to expand the scope of your project anywhere you are with your starting project. Katie, I see you getting excited.
Well, and just from a marketing perspective, from the client, speaking as a client, we love this. We love this. It's like, yes, yes, do it, do more, take it off my plate. I don't want to have to worry about it. Thank God you're thinking of this. Yes, please.
And people are fearful of blind spots. Like, you think that your clients, they're such great marketers, they're in business, they know what they're doing. They don't. We just had a webinar last month or the month before where we reached out to our friends and experts and colleagues saying, like, what's happening in the industry? What are you seeing where the opportunities are right now? And they pointed out some things that we were like, oh my gosh, we forgot. We didn't do those things. Yeah. Everybody has a blind spot because we're doing lots of things. So there's opportunities that we're just missing. That specific one was something called a comeback campaign. And if you listened to our webinar last month on thriving as a copywriter, we can get you the link if you missed it. But that one was specifically on comeback campaigns. Your clients have people who once bought from them and then left or haven't done anything since. Why not bring them back? Keeping your customers, the ones that you already have, is a much less expensive marketing option than finding a new one. So we just instructed our writers last month, like, go to companies and say, I'm going to help you bring back your current, your older customers. And that alone was a blind spot that we had. What were you going to say, Pam? I see you have a maybe. Oh, maybe not. It's like her first time on Zoom. What is happening?
No. I was typing away and I blocked my mute button by typing.
You must have been enthusiastic about your typing, about your response.
But honestly, I mean, that's often what happens with me. I will start out, for example, a veterinary equipment company reached out to me to write website content because their website was ancient. And then when we were done fixing all the pages, I said, well, what else are you going to do to bring in traffic? How about blogging? So we put together a blog plan, and then I set up a retainer to blog 2 posts every month on 2 different sites of theirs. So that's 4 blog posts a month for a year. And then are we going to do this next year? Sure, because it's working. It's bringing in leads. Okay, let's sign you up for the next year. And then, oh yeah, I noticed that your product pages are really kind of dated or not really selling your products very well. So let's work on those. And you just keep pointing out to them the opportunities they're missing. And suddenly they get all excited and, okay, let's do this. What would it cost? It'll cost this. All right, let's go. So that's often how it happens. You can add on as you see opportunities and say, you know, your competition just posted a bunch of videos. You should have video too. Let's get going on that. So, and free reports and all kinds of stuff. Webinars. Are you doing webinars? You just keep asking and showing what the competition's doing, and that will definitely get their eyes open and, oh yeah, maybe we should be doing that too. And we need your help.
And I love this we and let's, and because it's collaborative. It's not like you're saying, oh, you guys are idiots that you haven't been doing that. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, here's something really cool that we could be doing together. And I'd love to take the lead on it. I'd love to do it for you.
And don't forget, like, things like Pam just said, video. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do video. I've never done video before. First of all, AWAI has a program for anything you could possibly want to do. Video is super hot right now. But I'm going to give you an example that I learned from Andrew Davis, who is an amazing video expert who works with us. But this could be applied to anything. To Pam's point, your competitors are. So you go to Veterinarian Bob and say, hey, I just saw a lot of videos that Veterinarian Mike just did on YouTube. What I love about them is they do A, B, and C. What I wish they do is X, Y, and Z. Let's do some videos for you that fill that gap. What that does, the littlest nuance in that statement is it puts you as the expert in video in that industry, because you just deemed Veterinarian Mike's videos good enough, but not good in these areas. And now you're offering to do Veterinarian Bob's videos to fill that need, to make them even better. So now you've sold yourself as a video expert. You've kind of made yourself the authority just by judging somebody else's, and you've provided value by saying, this one has these things that are good and these things that are missing, and that's an opportunity for you. Again, little tiny things that we're going to be giving you today, but just think about how that can create conversation, whether it's a first-time client or to increase the scope of a project you've taken on. There was a comment over here by Tom Hi, Tom. It says sometimes, I am going to call you guys out sometimes. It says sometimes clients will increase scope into areas that should pay higher rates. They are sneaky. Not everyone does this intentionally. Don't think of the word sneaky like clients are out to get you to take advantage of you. It really is just a natural, like Katie said, we are all in it together. We all want the same thing: more traffic, more conversions, more leads, more sales, more happy customers that stay here and don't leave to our competitors. The goal is the same. And I wanted to bring this up because it is collaborative. You're in the boat with your clients trying to achieve the same goals. Now clients get excited and I'm like, yeah, Pam, that video is great. Can you do this? Can you turn this into a video? I don't necessarily think I'm trying to get out from not having to pay her, but remember, you're running a business. In that moment, absolutely I can. In addition, I should also optimize the videos to make sure that they show up. That's a great idea, Rebecca. It'll only, I can add this to my retainer for additional $750 a month. There's no problem with that. I, as a business owner, expect people that I work with professionally to charge me for the things that I'm doing. So be comfortable. And I as soon as I said this word comfortable, I'm like, oh gosh, who all is comfortable asking for more money? Not many of us, but you will get comfortable in doing it anyways, just because it is part of running a business. Which takes us to number 4. So number 4 will look like at first glance that it's similar to number 3, but it's not. And it's not what you think it is when you think working more. The number 4 lever: increase your output. Just start working 80 hours a week instead of 40.
Get up at 6 a.m.
That's not what I mean here. So it feels similar, right? Well, I'm going to increase more with every client that I take on. Eventually, doing it that way, you will run out of time. If I'm only willing or only have 40 hours to work, or 20 hours or 10 hours or 30, whatever your life looks like, that's all I have. So once my time is gone, I have to find other ways to make money in the same amount of time. The number one way to do that is with efficiency. So now I have experience. I've been doing this for a while. I've gained efficiency anyways, just because I've gotten really good at doing the thing that I do. But now I'm going to start to create methods, things that allow me to gain speed. A little tiny method I've learned: I have to write a daily e-letter. That seems overwhelming, right? I have found that if I listen to a 20 minutes of a personal development book in the morning, it cuts my writing down 80%. My time that I spend to write, it just triggers my brain in a different way. I've created methodologies to get faster at what I do. You'll create methodologies and templates. Like, I've worked with writers who gave us surveys before they started the project to make sure that Katie and I had spent all the time thinking about what we really wanted. Pete Savage, I don't know if you remember this, Katie, gave us this great questionnaire before we even started the project. And we had to fill out all these answers. And what it made us do is take the time, so we weren't just like giving answers. He was making sure that we really understood what we wanted from the project before he even started, so that he didn't go 20 hours in only to find out, oh, that's not what we wanted. We really want it like this. You'll create templates, forms. Pam is brilliant at this, has a whole program in the catalog on this, of how do you intake, how do you onboard, how do you work with clients in a way that you pull everything that you need quickly so that you can spend your time doing the work efficiently. You're going to create, at this level, we're going to talk about things like productizing your service. Russ Henneberry taught us about this. He is our amazing expert for our SEO certification and our content certification. He productizes. So when he talks to a new client about doing SEO work, he doesn't strike hourly. He doesn't ask them to create scope of project. He asks them what they need, and then he hands back a proposal that says, I can do A for this amount, B for this amount, and C for this amount. I think you need C, but you go ahead and make the decision. What that allows him to do is to gain all of his efficiencies. So it's not like, oh, client A, I work like this, and it's hourly like that, and this person has intake. No, here's how I work. This is what it costs, and this is what you get. That's called productizing. So in this level, we're looking for ways to become more efficient. You can create agency. You could set up a business where you don't even do. Russ is so great at getting clients. It makes sense that he would hire SEO writers to do some of the legwork for him now, because he can spend an hour on a phone call, land a new client, and feed it back to the team to do the work. So there's lots of things in here, but the importance of level 4 is understanding it's not about working more hours. I hate the statement, doing more with less, but it's finding efficiencies and ways that we can maximize the time spent.
And this is just kind of simple time management and productivity, but also look at your day and think about the things that are taking up time from writing projects that you can offload, that you can hire somebody else to do. Like if you know if you're maybe you're not maybe you need a virtual assistant to help with your billing and invoicing and things like that. You don't want to do that, or you need somebody else to help you with some household chores or whatever it is. Again, thinking like a business. I have so much time, I have so much resources, I want the maximum output. What can I offload or hire out?
I'd like to add something too.
Yes.
My thing about being efficient is focus. So I am not all things to all clients. I am not a PPC ad manager. I don't do social media. There's a lot I don't do because I'm really, really good at writing web content and blog posts. And that's my core. And so because I'm really good at that, I'm really efficient at it. If you knew how little time it took, actually newsletters too, email newsletters, but if you knew how little time it took to write certain newsletter copy, and I do make a really good rate for that, it's because I'm like a machine when it comes to that. So if somebody says, we need a newsletter article on this, I can bang it out in an hour. And I'm really good at that because I have focused on those skill sets. And when some new shiny object comes up, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to become a UX copywriter right now, or a chatbot copywriter, or this or that, or that. You can see my head spinning. That's what happens if you keep looking at all the opportunities. So my advice to you is to find something you really enjoy. Focus on a few services clients need all the time, like websites and blog posts. And, you know, you might pick video. You might love video. That's your lane. And sure, you can do other ancillary things too, but if you have a core, then you become more efficient and you can still charge the same rate, but be way faster. So that's what I love about focusing.
I think that's great insight. It actually leads us kind of to our next lever, which is our number 5 lever, is to take on higher impact work. So now Pam was talking about focusing on what she wants to do, which we recommend. There's so many things. It's like going to a restaurant and there being 50 items on the menu. You don't have to eat them all. You can just pick the ones that you want to do right now. And I know that sounds kind of like, well, that's nice for you, but where do I start? Like Pam said, start with the ones that every client needs. Every client needs a blog. Every client can use newsletters. Every client, if they want to be found online, should have videos at this point. Like, there is big opportunity in those easy to learn, consistent projects that consistently pay well to get you started, where you can increase the scope just by adding on 1 or 2 of those things or upping the frequency. There are different ways to do that. Once you get past that, we're going to move in. So in lever 4, we talked about productizing, maximizing our SEO services, let's say, to put them into 3 SEO packages that we sell at 3 different price points. Now, though, we've run out of that. We are, and again, it's not even either or, but at some point, you just can't do any more work for your clients. Even once you've productized them, you really are maxed out on the time that you can spend working. So now we're going to look on higher impact projects. When I talk about higher impact projects, these are things that are more developmental, more consultant based, more big picture. They oftentimes start with things like audits that open up opportunity, where it's not even just, I want to write a blog post for you, client, but I want to reimagine your marketing machine because you're missing areas in this. Now, we work with many kinds of freelancers. Some freelancers make an X amount of money for doing lots of work, for producing lots of copy. Other freelancers we work with make the same amount of money for spending an hour a week with us because they're talking strategy, big picture stuff. They're creating the opportunity for the writers who are writing the projects. And this is a new thing that we're going to introduce in the next, like I said, couple months. Kind of confusing because we're talking about levers today that you can pull, and we'll be talking about levels of writers as you proceed through the levels. But eventually you're going to get to a point where you know so much because you've been doing this, that your expertise in your head is actually more valuable than the words that you can put on paper. Now, that's not to say that there aren't other high value projects, high impact projects that require words, things like sales letters, things like books that are used for lead gen, right? Big projects that require big thinking and big lots of words that pay very well, not only to write them, but that offer royalties. So another high impact assignment is something that is attached. I want to be invested in this project now and for as long as you can run it. So a sales letter is a perfect example of that. I get paid to write the sales letter today, and I take a percentage of sales every single time for as long as you want to write that letter. You're going to hear the word called control. A control is a sales letter that continues to run for a long period of time. Katie and I, there are some controls at AWAI that have been running for 20 years. One of the original promos that we launched the business with is still in rotation in some form or another. The copywriter is still getting paid a royalty.
And we're happy to pay it.
And we're happy to pay it because it's still bringing in the sales. So higher impact just means it could be consultant level, my expertise now, my experience. Copy chiefing is a great example. As a copy chief, I can write sales letters. I can write content. I can do these things, but I can only do so many in a week. But I can chief 3 to 4 writers doing those things. Now to the client, I'm extremely valuable because they get 4 times the output. They're happy to pay me because they get 4 times the output, and the output is far greater because I'm chiefing these writers and teaching them what I know. So higher impact are things, again, it's like chiefing, writing sales letters that have royalty fees attached to them, bigger projects like to ghostwrite a book for the company that's going to be the lead gen. And it can be as simple as, I will meet with you to discuss your marketing strategy once a week. I will once a month, and we'll see where you are at the end of the month. And then I'll meet with you again the next month to go over something new. It could be the consulting side of thing. Anybody questions, comments on higher impact work?
I'm in favor.
Yeah. I mean, everything's measurable, right? So as copywriters who write for marketing and who write persuasive copy, there's always an action to what we write. Even if it's a blog post, at the end, there's an action. If you'd like to know more, sign up for our newsletter, download our report, see these products. So all of that's measurable, and you can even work with your clients to have them track those responses. Not all of them are set up to do that automatically, but if you say, you know, your email platform can tell you how many clicks and opens and how many purchases were happening as a result of your campaign, they start to see the impact you're having. Even not so technically, clients have told me, for example, when I started blogging for that veterinary equipment manufacturer, they were getting more calls to their salespeople. Like we'd blog about, are you ready for this? Cat condos. I was writing about what are the best cat condos for your cat shelter. And they would start getting calls when we would post those articles. So they knew it was working, and that was what got them fired up. So if you can help them see the results of your work, see them going higher up in search rankings, see them getting more sales calls, that's high impact. And so, you know, work with them to make sure they're measuring what you're doing.
Which actually leads to number 6.
But just before we even jump into that, I'm sorry, but I just want everyone to understand the shift that happens about this. And it's really the last few levers that we've talked about, but you really go to being a partner with your clients. You're really embraced even more as part of the team. You're a strategic partner. You're somebody who is contributing significantly to their growth and prosperity. And that's not something to take lightly. And that's something that's very valuable for clients.
I can always tell the shift when the person, if there's not a defined time or number of projects or hours worked. And I like writers who say we out of the gate, this is what we're working on, this is our goal. But there is just a shift where I can just see that we've leveled up our relationship.
Yeah.
When they come and they recommend not a project type, but more of a project that is goal specific. I know you guys are looking to X, Y, and Z. I had an idea, and this is what I'm thinking. That's when that shift happens, and they really are a partner in the business at that point, and it's wildly valuable. Agree. So the number 6 lever, we're out of time. we're out of productizing. We've maximized all the expertise that we have in our head. And again, it's not an either or. You can pull all these levers at the same time. But the next one is to start at passive income. So it's no longer about the hours that we work. So in all of the examples so far, even though we've shifted from order taker to prescriber, this is what you need, client A, or consultant, I have an idea for something that will take you to the goals that you're trying to achieve. That's all still us working, right? Passive income is income that comes into your business, whether or not you are doing anything for it. There's no invoicing with passive income. Passive income is going to come to you because it's generating from somewhere else. The beauty of passive income, besides just money, is that you can have multiple streams. So again, there's your job function. I'm a copywriter, I'm a consultant, I'm an auditor, whatever you want to call yourself. And I work like this and I make this money. And X percentage of my annual income comes from my copywriting efforts. And this percentage comes from other things. So when we talk about passive income, one of the most common, you can take royalties. We talked about taking on bigger projects like a sales letter, but the royalty itself would come into this bucket. We've had writers who changed the face, like Pam was saying, of a business enough to where they could go in and negotiate. I want, because I'm changing this thing, I'm building the sales team, I'm doing this other thing that's not necessarily trackable exactly like a sales letter is, but I'm going to ask you, client, to baseline your business. You make $2 million now. Everything over 2 million, I want X percentage of, because those are the efforts that I'm putting in. That would be a passive income stream. You would pay me for my efforts. You would pay me for my marketing knowledge. You would pay me for my SEO efforts or video scripting or whatever the thing is. And then in addition, everything above the line, that is, I want a royalty on that part of the sale, or a profit share or an incentive or a bonus on that piece. That is completely acceptable once you have been working with a client for a while. But that's only one side. There's other passive income streams you can create that have nothing to do with clients, which is something that a lot of AWI members love because the client thing still makes us a little more scared. It's nice to have something that I control that isn't controlled by somebody else. So typically in this area, we talk about things called money-making websites. A money-making website is a website on a topic that people are searching for online. We've had our expert behind the program has made $500,000 writing about coffee over the last 10 years. This is a coffee website. We've had people make money writing about sports equipment like kettlebells. We've had people making money about using WordPress. We've had people make money on water. Like there's an actual money-making website talking about water. And there are lots of ways we monetize these websites. If you go to the AWI website and you look up the word monetization or monetizing, you'll find there's like 7 different ways, whether that's through Google AdSense or affiliate sales or advertising or all these different ways. But that's passive because I spend some hours working on this thing, but whether or not I'm doing a job, it continues to generate income for me. We could talk about an agency again, where agency before I was using it to increase my output. Agency could be built simply to create passive income. I'm really good at getting clients. Like Pam said, I don't want to do SEO work. So whenever I have a client who wants SEO work, I'm going to hand them over to Pam, and I'm either going to have her do the work for me, and I'm going to charge 20% on top of what she charges, or she's going to give me some kind of kickback for the leads that she's getting from that project. That's an option for you, an agency. Pam, you have some other examples of AWI members. What are some other things people have done to create passive income?
Well, I mean, mostly the money-making website thing is what I know about, because that's something you control the most. For example, we have members that have written about growing tomatoes, and they're doing great. Holly Hanna, who was an AWI staff member, she started a blog site called Work at Home Woman, the Work at Home Woman, and that has taken off like crazy. And she's being featured in things like Huffington Post and all over the place, and tons of traffic. She makes ad money. She makes all kinds of she sells products on her site. So, I mean, that's an amazing way to make money while you sleep, because those things are found around the clock by people all over the world. and you should check it out to see the model, because it's a wonderful business, and we are so behind what she's been doing. And we often point people to that as an example of how you can create something you control and build as your own asset. So working for clients is great. Working full time and doing stuff on the side is great. I happen to do that. I work full time, but I have freelance clients on the side because it's important for me to know how to work with freelance clients if I'm talking to you guys about it. And then we have people who work for freelance clients and also have their own side money-making website. There's all these different models that you can create an agency together with other writers and charge, make a little, overhead, by giving them work. And there are all these different models that you can pick from to make active income and passive income, if that makes sense.
I think if I were to start all over again in a new niche, I would do a money-making website or a blog anyways, because it would make me feel more confident when going to clients. So let's say I want to go into the infant safety niche. I know nothing about infant safety other than being a mom. I'm actually a really good potential writer for infant safety products, not because I understand manufacturing or how they even work, but because I understand what it's like to be a mom, fearful that my baby that they gave me from the hospital, I'm just supposed to take it home and keep it alive, is okay in the other room when I can't see it. So like the monitors and the mattress alarms and all the things, I can write about those things simply because I know the prospect, the potential buyer. But if I was going to niche in that space, I would probably also have a blog on infant safety products, because then I could review infant safety products. I would have the audience that all the infant safety companies want, because now they're coming to my site for reviews. I'd be able to review all these products, and I'd be able to go to the client. Like, so let's say Katie manufactures cameras, 4-color cameras for the infant room. I could say, hey, Katie, I love your cameras, just reviewed it. Would you mind going and checking it out and make sure that everything I said was accurate about your product? Who's going to say no to that, right? Now Katie goes to my website, and what does she find? She finds that I'm an excellent writer, and she finds that I have this awesome blog full of infant safety products with people that she wants to target, and she knows I'm a writer, which I can then go back to Katie and say, she's like, hey, Rebecca, that looks great. Thank you so much. I'm like, actually, I was just looking at your website. I have some idea for blog posts for you. I'm also a freelance writer. Would you like to hear my ideas? What a soft way, right, of getting in with Katie. I've done something good for her. I've created a review for her website. I'm driving free traffic. And now I'm offering my services to her. So it allows me to kind of limp in with a little bit of I have a sample to show. I am making myself credible. I'm gaining authority. And I have a reason to contact you.
Johnny asked earlier, is there a low-lying fruits for a copywriter? Is it blogging, email copywriting, or something else? I think Rebecca just kind of laid out a beautiful plan there. I do want to add to this too. I was answering questions, so I hope I didn't miss this, but there's also the whole information publishing world of ebooks and trainings and courses and coaching, and all that ties into that. Coaching is not passive, but these others, once you do them, again, you have an asset that will work for you continuously, and you're able to repurpose this content. If you write 50 blog posts a year, chances are you have something that could be turned into a book.
I love that.
At least it could be turned into a regular newsletter, and then with that book, maybe you could offer some videos to go along with it. You have a base. You have this lump of clay that's more than just a lump. It's already starting to be something, but you can just add on it and add on it and add on it. So you're purposing this work that you've done once, now 2, 3, 4 different ways. So there's lots of ways to chop the carrot. Did you see I said?
I always say, I can't think of a better saying than how to skin a cat. And Katie just sent me one the other day about chopping up carrots. Thank you. No skinning of cats today. I want to introduce or bring on a question from Alicia. I know a money-making website takes time to build before you start seeing revenue. Are there other levers that writers with a client-less freelance writer can use to boost income? So any of them, if you're looking to make money on the client side, it's easier, right? Because I can do royalties, I can do agency, I have those options. Any developmental project that's clientless is going to take time. There is no get rich quick button. There's no easy button. There are ways that you can set yourself up to succeed faster. And so if you take our blogging program, if you look at money making websites, there are things that you can do. For example, money making websites, one of the money makers in a money making website might be on traffic, how much traffic you have to your website. Well, you can influence this slightly by being more aggressive in social media, making sure you have your SEO shaped up. If I just write a blog, nobody's going to find it. But if I think strategically and I write a blog thinking about optimized keywords, I'm going to get traffic faster than if I don't. So it's not really about make money fast, but rather faster. Paths that make it faster just by taking the time to think through and following the strategies that work. We have people time and time again go through Nick's program and say, I understand that you told us to do it A, B, and C, but I'm going to go zag while everybody's zigging and do it this way. You can, but the proven methodology says this one's faster. So just my advice to you is to follow people who are doing it, take a program that walks you through, follow to the letter, because that will allow you to hit income faster than if you're trying to just figure it out. The point of AWI programs, and this is for any program, hopefully, that's being published in this industry, is that it's based on proven methodology. We don't teach from theory. We don't teach from what other people said and regurgitate it. We go after experts who are doing the thing and have developed their own systems and methodologies that are proven. And that's what we teach. So if somebody is saying, do this, then this, then this, do that, because that's the system. They've already done all the legwork. They've already done all the mistakes. You're benefiting from final answer learning curve. So that would be my only advice. Unless, Pam, you can think of anything else that's a faster, but I think it's just doing it right. So
yeah, over time. I mean, you might be quicker if you're writing ebooks and posting them on Amazon. You know, that could be quicker. I have no experience with that. But say what?
I was going to say, I mean, lower money, but yes, that is a way that you could generate money faster.
Right. Other than that, clientless income, it does take time, but it's worth it over time. I mean, it took Nick, he bangs away at it every week, but over time, he makes a really great living off his coffee detective website. You should check that out. He adds new content every month, and it keeps growing and growing and growing for him. So
I think of it as like a savings account. You know, you don't start out with or a 401k, you know, whatever it is. You don't start out with a big amount, but it grows and it grows and it grows, and as long as you keep putting into it, there is a little bit of a time investment, but the thing is, once you're practicing your skills, whatever you're writing can be helping to attract potential clients, and there's just ways of repurposing that we've talked about that makes it really the best use of your time.
I just realized we didn't show the seventh lever yet. So 1 second.
Oh,
those of you who are asking questions, so thank you, Barbara. Her phone rang and she missed the seventh lever. You did not miss it. We just didn't get to it yet. We got into a tangent. The seventh lever is to increase your fees. Now, this sounds like duh, but you know what? Some things are aha moments. Other things are duh moments. And this is something that you have to do. Just like an employee, your knowledge and experience is going to increase, which means your value is going to increase. And if you're investing in your skills, if you're getting certifications, if you're moving and developing, which you should be, all professional service providers develop their skills. They invest in themselves to get better. My dentist offers things today that he didn't even dream existed when I started with him 15 years ago, because he continues to invest in his business and invest in his skill sets to use these tools that are advanced. You're the same thing. And as you invest in those things, you're going to raise your rates. So it's very common for you to go back to your potential clients and increase your fees. And if they can't meet the increased fee, it just might be, to take us back to the very beginning, time to move on, which is 100% acceptable. At the end of the day, this is one thing in life that really is all about you. You have full choices in making a career as a writer. This is about your version of the writer's life, not mine, not Pam's, not Katie's, not anyone else on this call. The point of the writer's life was, though, that it is all about you. It's your thing that you're able to do and create as you want for yourself. I have met hundreds, if not thousands now in my 18 years with AWAI of writers, and I've never met two who have the same story. Even if the end game feels slightly similar, it's not even close. So the big takeaway I want you to take away from this session is you have choices, you have control, and I never want you to head down, just be in there and doing. I want you regularly to come up and think to yourself, am I ready for the next step? Am I ready? Do I need to make more money? Do I want to make more money? Which levers can I pull? Knowing that you have these choices. And so that's kind of what the session was about. We'll now open it up for Q&A. And Ben, if you could just pop the final slide, just in case anybody missed any of the 7 levers, here's a graphic that will show you all of them. Also, really quick, for those of you who are asking questions like, what is SEO? What is control? What is? We have an amazing glossary on our website. If you ever hear a word that you don't know, go to the glossary. If you guys can post it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. But it's on our website, and it has everything you could possibly need to know. It's like your little marketing manual with all the words in it. All right, so what questions do we have about this or about anything? Inside AWAI is all about helping you move forward in your writing business. Katie or Pam, did you have any that you wanted to answer out loud? Lots of them in there.
Johnny just said he's over on the other side of the country. He was just asking about the low-lying fruits for copywriters. Is it blogging, email copywriting, or something else? And those are the blogging and email and potentially newsletters are probably what we have found over the years is the easiest way to get started with a client. And so that's what we recommend. We have fantastic programs on each of those.
And the reason is you know what they are, right? Like, you know what an email is, you know what a blog is. We find it easier for writers to start with projects that they consume as readers and as consumers.
And then Mike was asking, if you start getting too many clients for yourself, too many to manage, is it reasonable to start joint venture 50-50 fee splits with other copywriters? Do people do that? Yes, people do set up arrangements where there's referral fees or agency type things. It doesn't necessarily have to be 50-50. I think you kind of take that on a case-by-case basis. It really can vary greatly, but just know that that is a very viable option. And being part of the AWAI community gives you just a fantastic network to draw from. We've had so many of our writers do exactly this, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's really fun, and it's great, and it just works.
When I think of the word, just to clarify joint ventures and what a 50-50 split is, a joint venture is typically where both parties are doing something or providing some form of value, and therefore they are splitting the profits. You typically find this in an affiliate relationship, or where somebody, let's say, has a list and you have a product and you're selling the product to that list. A joint venture is, I bring the list, you bring the product, we work together, and we split the profits. So if you ever hear that phrase, that typically is what it is. Less likely in copywriting, because if I'm doing all the work, I'm not going to feel great giving up 50% of my income. Now, it could be if you partner on, let's say, a sales letter, we might say we're going to split the royalties. I know some writers, when they first started out, who would literally line item, all 3 of them work together, and they would line by line each of their promos, and they would all split the royalties. And that way they all had the best possible sales letter for their clients, the most possible royalties, and they were all benefiting from it.
Yeah. So I think it just has to be a win-win for everybody involved.
And that's really what it is, right? That's just all business. Win-win.
Yep. Teresa's asking, how should I advertise my services if I have nothing but learning experience? I love this. We get this a lot. Should I be transparent and say that I'm an entry level? Rebecca, I know you have
Next. No, we focus on what you do have, because if you have training, especially if you've been training with AWAI, if you have a certification, if you've been to the AWAI method, you have skills, you have experience in the form of assignments and scope of project that we gave you. You probably have samples from our stuff. So that is you having experience. The way we built the AWI method is to give you practice work on 5 assignments. So your first client is your 6th thing of experience, not your first. It's just a little bit of a mindset shift. Using my infant safety example, I don't have to say that I'm brand new copywriter in infant safety. I've been a mom for 11 years now. I know I've done this. I've walked this walk. Who better to write for these companies than me? I've got this SEO skill set that I can prove with my experience. 11 years as a mom, that's my experience that I'm bringing to the table. And that's what I'm going to focus on. So don't worry about, oh, what they're going to think. We don't know what they're going to think. And if you're going through Elise Bennon's 21-day challenge, you'll hear it referred to a bunch of different ways. If you call our member services team, just say Elise Bennon and they'll know what to do. But she really is going to have you focusing on what you have. And there are clients for days who have no marketing experience, no copywriting experience. And you even just having a dog and being a customer of a vet or a client of a vet is more experience than you really give yourself credit for. You are a consumer. Look around your room. You bought things. You know, you've made buying decisions in the past couple of weeks. You've consumed blogs. You've done research online. You've made buying decisions based on that research. You have a lot more experience than you're giving yourself credit for. And your LinkedIn profile or your website, or whatever you want to do, is really about who you're targeting and that you have something to offer them and that you know something about what they want. And that doesn't have to be in the form of 5 years of writing experience in this industry. It can just be consumer who buys the product that you are selling. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, this is a great question. I'm so glad you asked this, Deborah, in case anybody else is confused about this as well. She's saying regarding videos, and the example Rebecca gave suggests that there is specific knowledge needed about making marketing videos. Is that the case? Well, and I just want to clarify.
Pam is our video person.
Pam's our video person, and we actually have a fantastic program, but you're not necessarily you're not shooting, filming, editing the videos. You are writing the scripts. So you're just taking care of that part of it. So don't be put off by thinking you have to have lighting and equipment and all that. These are scripts that you provide. But Pam, do you have some quick tips on great video scripts?
And just to make sure, so she was talking about where I said this video has A, B, and C. I wish it also did X, Y, and Z. That's the fundamentals of good video. So it's not lighting or things like that, but rather what the person was saying on the video, which is where scripting comes in. So Pam.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I'm answering like a million questions on
it.
All right. So video, sure, there are formulas that are proven to work, and it's almost based on the same kind of formulas as anything you're writing. Know what the prospect is, who the prospect is, and what they care about. Know the solution that the client can offer. Understand the goal of the video. Is it to get someone to sign up for something or make a purchase or subscribe? All of those things you want to know first, and then you can write. You know, we do offer formulas in this program that you can follow, like practically plug and play, honestly. We show you lots of examples. We give you templates. We show you the formats. So, I mean, the video program is really robust and covers 5 different common types of videos that clients use to market themselves, from case studies to testimonials, to explainer videos, to corporate culture videos, to ad. There's a category I'm forgetting at the moment, but there are 5 of them. I'm just trying to think while answering lots of questions too, but yeah, I encourage you to check it out.
But so just to wrap it up in a bow, it's the what is the intention? This is all marketing and copy. This is how you can analyze anything. What is the intention of this thing, and did it do the job? So if my job with the explainer video, let's say I'm explaining how to use the camera that you bought that you haven't used yet, right? It's because I'm overwhelmed at like the tech of it. Like there's 4 things I'm supposed to set up in my office, and it's just very overwhelming to me. So a company who sold me all the stuff could have an explainer video or a retention video that says, hey, Rebecca, so glad you bought all the stuff. We're going to show you in 2 minutes how to set up your office. Watch this thing. Now that's all scripted. And so your assessment is, does it do the job? Does it clearly explain to the consumer who's terrified of the equipment how to put it up? And is she using the equipment? Because if not, there's a chance she's going to either send it back, ask for her money back, and is never going to buy anything again, which is a bad place to be. Everything we do, everything that we teach, every piece of copy content we write has an intention. And we always start with that. What is the big idea, the goal, the intention of this thing that I'm writing? That's the basis for judging anything. What was the intention, and did it do the job? Or do I have any ideas for how we could do it better? That's it. It really is that simple. So when you're learning video scripts from Pam, she's going to teach you, if it's an explainer video, here's the intention. Here's how you get there. If it's a sales video that links over here, here's how you get there. Here's what you do. Once you know that, who better to judge every video on the planet than you? You know exactly what the behind the scenes piece of the scripts are. So when you're taking programs from us, keep that in mind. You're learning to do the thing, but you're also learning the why behind the thing. And ultimately, that's where you're going to get paid a lot more money down the line. You don't need to know it yet. You don't even need to realize that that's where we're taking you, but you just can't help it. If you write video scripts for 5 years, there's no way you're not making amazing money as a video script expert in your field, simply because you've just done it so much. And that training that we're giving you is not only showing you how, but why, so that stuff starts to build in as well. Sorry, I'm looking up the Russ Henneberry certification for Carmen. The enrollment opens up on September 9th, and the actual event, I believe, starts, it's middle of September. I don't have the live date on the calendar, but it's middle of September. So Russ's next SEO certification for Carmen.
You're going to love that, Carmen.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with his style of training. I'm obsessed with all of our certifications, not because like, hey, there are certifications, but Jade Trueblood, who runs our training team, has perfected the certification training. And actually, this leads me to a question. Should I charge newbie fees? Jermaine asked this, if I'm just starting out, but I have certifications. No, you're going to charge the fees that the instructors taught you how to charge, because it's not about your experience. It's what you can do. And if you pass the certification, you have the skills, you have the experience. We gave you a client to work with on experience, a scope of project. You've turned in the assignment, you've gotten feedback, you've passed it to prove that you can do the job, and you've taken a certification test that proves that you can do the job. So when Katie asks you, or the client says, I want that thing too, do this SEO thing for me, that's just your next experience. You've already proven to yourself that you can do it. So you should charge the fees that we tell you to charge for the services that you are providing. Now, clients are going to vary. A great way of getting around budget, like how much does this cost, is do you have a budget for this? And if they say no, and I learned this from Elise Bennon, is it like 1,000 now or 10,000? Because based on that, I can give you a proposal that's related and relevant to your budget. Now, are you going to do the same work at 1,010? No, it's not a question of how much am I going to charge. It's a question of how much am I going to do for that fee set. So let's say client A is the ballpark of what you're doing in Russ's class, if you took the SEO certification, is outside of their range. Well, what can you do for them that gets them to their goal and is worth it for your time? You might only spend 25% of the time that you spend on a different client simply because they can't afford you. They can still afford something though from you. So you'll just give them a fee based on where their budget is. So hopefully that helps answer that question. What else we got? Some people are joining us for our 10 Weeks to Pro. That's exciting. So that starts Friday. So those of you who are joining us for 10 Weeks to Pro, it's actually going to be, I believe, Mindy McCourse and me on Friday, and then you'll see Katie next week. But this is basically where you'll train for 10 weeks, and we will make you a very confident copywriter by the end of this. If you missed the enrollment, I think we got a lot of calls yesterday and today about it. Just call our member success team. I think the enrollment is closed online, but they can sneak you in if you're in here. Just call them. Those of you who are asking about boot camp is also coming up. That is October 3rd through the 6th, I think. Yes. This will be our last year that is all virtual. So we will be probably live in person again next year. But it is 3 days of skill building and business building and mindset and all the things. So this year, we're focusing boot camp on what's needed now, right? The whole world is in a very weird state right now. Doesn't mean you think it couldn't get any weirder. It just keeps getting weirder and changing. Companies are going to have to figure it out, right? They're surviving. and ideally thriving. And the opportunities that they're facing right now are huge opportunities for you as a writer. We did a webinar on this last month called Thriving as a Copywriter Right Now. But for this year's boot camp, we went to all of our experts, our guest speakers, and so we don't want big picture theory. We want now. What is working now? What skills do we need now? What things can we offer companies now? What things are doing better in this environment, in this economy? What's working better so that we can provide our clients with things that are effective now? So that's what bootcamp is this year. It's all about right now, thriving as a copywriter. And then on the fourth day, because then, you can have all those things, but if nobody pays you for them, it doesn't matter. On the fourth day, we have clients. The whole day is dedicated to business building and getting clients. So we have everything from Elise Bennin and Michael Katz and Marcella and people talking about what you need to do to get your website up or to get your LinkedIn profile up, to connect with clients, Michael Katz is going to show you how you probably know 3 clients and you just you haven't thought about it yet. He's going to show you how to make those connections in your own life to find those clients who are actually very close to you. And then we're going to bring on clients, tons of companies and people to do roundtables to tell you what they're looking for in hiring writers right now. This is something we used to do in person at bootcamp. It was called a job fair. You'd actually walk around the room like, "Hi, Pam, I'm Rebecca Matter. I'm a copywriter. And what do you need from me?" And ask these awkward questions. And it was great because you got face-to-face time, but it was also somewhat awkward in that you didn't really know them and you didn't really have enough time. And you were in a ballroom that was very loud with a lot of people talking. So you maybe had time to ask one question because then Katie's over here wanting to ask her question and Pam's over there trying to ask her question. And we're all kind of just getting one answer. So when we had to go virtual for the pandemic, we totally reimagined it. And we thought, what if everybody heard the best conversation, all the questions and all the answers, so that it wasn't like, oh, Katie learned this and Pam learned that, and I didn't learn that because I didn't ask that question. So we did panels last year. We'd bring 4 marketers on at a time and ask them all the questions. It was awesome. And we've carried it over into other things. Pam's brought it into our Circle of Success summits, which are quarterly business building things that we do for Circle of Success. She's brought clients in to do the same thing. And people have gotten jobs like what was the wrestling one? They got proposals and jobs days after. Yeah, WWE came into the Circle of Success Summit days after, landed a job just because you guys, when you're at boot camp, you're hearing specifically what the client wants. And we know what questions to ask so that you can go back and give them a bang up proposal saying, I'm exactly who should be writing for you. Infant safety manufacturer. I've been a mom and a buyer of your products for years. So that's what bootcamp is all about. Skill building, what's working right now, and then business building and actually introducing you to clients who are looking to hire copywriters right now. We have a link somewhere, but that is October. So definitely book your calendar, your schedule. And I think enrollment price, the registration goes up on Thursday. So if you're watching this live, you want to get your ticket now. If you're watching this on the playback or Facebook later on tomorrow, by Thursday, I think Thursday is the cutoff for the early bird registration fee. It's going to kick way up. So definitely grab your ticket before then.
Oh, it's going to be so good. Every day we keep hearing about this, like little tweaks and additions to the schedule Jade and Valentina are making. And I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. And it just gets better. And this, again, just goes back to collaboration of you working with your clients. If you really love your companies and your clients that you're working for, it starts to feel like it's your business. And you collaborate like this, and you're going to be bringing to your veterinarian or your dentist or the accounting company you work for or the biotech or any industry and any niche of anything, you're going to be bringing things that are going to make their business better and richer and more effective and helping more people. And it's such a beautiful thing. You guys are in it's not just about the writing. That's where it starts, but it goes so much bigger than that. Actually, to answer another question about niching, Alicia says, I'm getting stuck on how to market myself because I'm not clear on who to write for within the health niche. I've been back and forth so many times, my head is spinning. I just think I need to talk it through just to hear feedback to know I'm on the right path. So Pam, I'm going to come to you in a minute. I see you're answering a question. I'm going to come to you in a minute on how to identify clients or how to so I say health. What does that mean? How do I figure out my niche? But before she does that, just the basic definition of a niche is just money exchanging hands. If there's money exchanging hands, someone's buying something and someone's selling something. If you can make me a list of the people who are selling something and tell me who they're selling it to, that is a profitable niche that you can go after. If money is exchanging hands, it's a niche, and the niche needs writers. So that's the big picture. Now, who to write for? Health, that's lots of companies. But how do you figure out how to focus it a little bit to create maybe an action plan for Alicia, which I think everybody will be able to use using this example.
Is that the question for me?
Yes. So
Okay.
that was Alicia with the health. How does she focus up and just get going?
Yeah. Well, we have, first of all, a whole hour-long free session on how to choose the right niche. And what that includes is the kind of fun legwork you can do for yourself in Google to see what, like if let's say you have an industry you're interested in. There are so many clues on Google to tell you who the companies are. There are associations like trade associations. There are trade journals. And who's advertising in those? Who's spending money in those? Those are clues on who your clients would be. So let's say, for example, I work in the pet and veterinary industry in my freelance life. So there are gigantic associations in that world, and they have a conference every year. And on that conference website, they list all their exhibitors. So there are 800 companies on their website who have spent money to be part of that exhibit hall, which, oh my gosh, it costs like $100,000 just to have a booth. And then there's email and signage and giveaway brochures and all kinds of stuff they're going to need to attract veterinary practice people who would be their customers. But you can pick any. Heather Robson recently stumped me with the kite industry. Is there a market in the kite industry? K-I-T-E, kites. And I did some research, and oh yeah, there's business happening in the kite industry. There are kite suppliers and builders and kite excursions and kite events, and it's amazing. So if you go through that session with any topic you can think of that you might be interested in writing about, whether it's craft beer or gardening or new moms or travel for seniors, you name it, accounting, chiropractic medicine, you name it, any industry, trucking, there's a whole bunch of business to business categories. You will find clients that have to spend money to get their customers, right? So they need copy to get those customers through everything we do. 80 different projects potentially between blogging and email and websites and video. So it's an impossible question to answer right now in a minute. But if you go through that session, you're going to have a blast, I promise you, because your eyes will be like, oh my gosh, I never knew there was an association for the Christmas tree world. I'm going to be the Christmas tree copywriter, or whatever it is you discover. It's super fun. And so I just go on Inside AWAI and type in niche. You will find it. And, or even just on our website in the search, choose a niche and you will find it. And it's well worth your time because it doesn't just show you where the clients are, it then shows you how to market yourself to that niche.
We have to thank Lee. He's been an assistant for posting some links for us. So thank you.
I love that so much, Lee. Thank you. And I actually just asked the team, sorry, if you see me talking in my phone, I'm asking the team. I posted the 10 weeks to pro training with Katie and me that kicks off on Friday. It's a wait list right now, but if you just put your name in the wait list, then Member Success will reach out to you and they will figure out how to get you in.
Oh my God, I have to laugh at this. Fawn saying we should invent an alarm clock with our voices. Ask my husband.
My husband would agree to disagree.
He would agree to disagree.
I wake up super awake, so I wake up like, good morning, it's time, everyone.
Oh, and evidently I say, do you know what I was thinking? And he just looks at me, he's like, no, I have no idea what you were thinking. So be careful, Fawn, what you wish for. I'm going to just nip that in the bud right now.
So Pam's asking, Pam Locker, not Pam Foster, is asking about 10 weeks to pro. So I put a URL or a web address. So if you click there, you can at least learn about it. Again, it'll map out the 10 weeks and who's going to be there and what we're going to be teaching you. But this is basically if you have been kind of on your own and you just need some consistency week to week, Katie and I are going to make sure that you have that consistency. We're going to meet with you week to week to get you through it. We came up with this years ago because the original program AWI was launched on was called the Accelerated Program for 6-Figure Copywriting. And it was big, it was massive, and it's great. but it's so much. It felt overwhelming for a lot of people. And so we put it into a 10-week curriculum so that you could get through it and finish it and not leave it up to chance. And a lot of people we've just found need a little bit of, I need to meet every Friday at 2 to get it. I'm that way with everything. I have to be scheduled. So if that's you, if you've kind of been sitting on the fence, haven't been able to get in, or haven't felt motivated to self-start, or you are somebody who needs a little more engagement like this to really grasp concepts and to feel confident, then definitely join us for that. We opened it really fast because people asked for it. Our member success team said, we're getting people after people asking if you guys are going to do this live. And so we just said, sure, let's just do it live. So we didn't talk about it for very long. It just opened last week and we thought we'll start it on Friday. And so my apologies if you missed it. So the URL is in the chat and you can learn about it. Enrollment is closed, but again, either call member success or put your name on the waiting list and they will figure out a way to get you in.
I think this is a wrap. It looks like we've answered all your questions.
All right, going once. Anybody else?
And we'll be back here same time, someplace next month.
Actually,
exactly same time.
Actually, you're doing the next Inside AWAI. What is that one on?
Yeah. So next Friday, September 9th, I'm going to have a special SEO search engine optimization expert, Russ Henneberry, who's going to talk with me about local SEO content writing. So writing for local companies, which is like right down your street, right? You can find all kinds of clients right down your street, from small businesses to manufacturing companies. Anything that's based in your town is a potential client for you. So we're going to talk about that at length next Friday, September 9th. I hope you join me then. It'll be on Inside AWAI. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just finished the deck for the information we're going to share, and it's going to be a doozy.
And then we have boot camp in October. We got lots going on. Lots of opportunities.
That's her birthday. So happy birthday, Anna.
Okay. Present for you.
What was the name of this program? This is Inside AWAI that we're on right now. So if you go to our website, you'll find a landing page for Inside AWAI. Just put in Inside AWAI and it will have all the past episodes of these kinds of trainings that we've done. You'll be able to find it on YouTube the next couple of days and it will be there posted as well. And that's it.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have anything that you need, please reach out. We do these Inside AWAIs every month and really it's whatever you need from us. If there is something in your way or an opportunity you need help taking advantage of, let us know and we will be happy to create a training specifically for the topic. If there's something we can do, you can count us in. We are in this to win it with you and we're with you to help you all the way through. So have a good week and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.